Sige, film na your stats and probs. Alright, so hello again guys. Welcome back. So last time, we've already done basic factorials and basic probability. Ngayon, we're gonna do compound probability. So what is compound probability? It's just like what you've done before when you were in basic probability. Kung sa tingin mo sa basic probability, you're just going to solve the probability of an event. That is basic probability. Ngayon naman, since we're dwelling to compound probability, this is the probability of getting two or more events at the same time. Like for example, do you remember when you roll a die? Like for example, ganito yun. I'll show you an example. Number 1, flipping coins. Getting a head or a tail. Do you remember, in flipping coins, do you remember that is flipping coins? Ayan. Also, one more thing you have to learn talaga in stats and probs, whenever you have compound probability, you have to focus on this grammar. If you see the word and, that means times, multiplication. If you see or, that means plus, addition. Like for example, in the sentence it says, would you rather like apples and bananas? That is both. Yes, that's and, di ba? Kaya gusto mo silang dalawa. Pero if the question were, would you rather like apples or bananas? Pipili ka ng isa. And that is or. Okay? So that is compound probability. Compound probability tells us that you want to get two events at the same time. Now let's start with an example. Like for example, when you flip coins. Diba remember when you flip coins? Diba remember flipping coins will give you one out of the two outcomes. You can either get heads or tails. Tama? So, the question is getting a head or a tail. Ayan. Diba remember when we say or, i-add. So therefore, to find the probability of two events at the same time, so this is the formula. Probability of one, that means the first event, diba? The first event plus P2 probability of a second event. Tama? So that is how compound probability works. When you do compound probability, it's either get the outcome of two things. Like the probability of getting the first event and the probability of the second event. Like for instance, the number 1, it says here, find the probability of getting a head. And there's one head, diba? Diba you remember in flipping coins, you get two outcomes, heads or tails. Pero the first event is getting a head. So that's 1/2. Tama? Pero it says or. Dahil or, ibig sabihin, it's either of the two options. So may kasamang tail. So plus 1/2. Then you add the two probabilities together. And that'll give you 2/2, which is just 1. Or converting that to percentage, you get 100%. So just what I said, whenever you have a probability that is 100%, what does that mean? Ibig sabihin, it is completely certain that you will get that outcome. Like when you flip coins, if you want to get heads or tails, of course, sure na yan, no matter how many times you flip the coins, you will always get heads or tails. Yung 100% na yan ay always. Ganito yung solution sheet ko. You wanna see my solution sheet in Microsoft Excel? Yan, the outcome is always 1. 100% converted. Next, letter B. Find the probability of flipping two coins. When two coins are flipped, you'll get at least one head. Ayan, this one is a bit tough. Kasi nga remember, this time, you're going to flip two coins. Ayan, that's also another condition when compound probability is implied. When two or more things can happen at the same time. Like for instance, when you flip two coins, you'll get at least one head. So kapag hinagis mo yung dalawang kobarya, you'll get one head. You'll get two heads, two tails, one head, or one tail. Ganito yung possible outcomes. And we know the possible outcomes are 4. Bakit yun? Diba remember, flip coin can give you head or tails. Tama? You will either get heads or tails, depending on the situation. Tama? Pero, and then if you get head, let's say for example, diba remember, you can do a tree diagram when you do stats and probs. So let's say on your first try, diba remember this is first try. On your first try, you will get heads. Then on your second try, you might also get another head. That is the second try. Okay? This is the first try, or if you do a branch diagram, this is what you call the second try. Second try. You can get heads again. Or pwede tails. Or let's say for example, sa isang first try mo, pwede ka makunin mo yung tails, di ba? Pero pwede maging tails ulit, o pwede heads. So looking at this tree diagram, find the probability that when 2 coins are flipped, you can get at least 1 head. So you just follow the tree diagram. Starting with the heads, of course, there's a head here, and there's another head here. So 2 heads. O, sapat na yan. Kasi nga, di ba, sabi dito, at least 1 head. Yan, di ba? And then, di ba, remember, head to tail. Yan, 1 head. And then, tail to head. Yes, so 3. So 3 out of the 4 possible outcomes. Pwede when you flip the coin, you will get 1 head, 1 tails, and that's 50% chance of that. And both heads, which is a 25% chance. So therefore, when you add these probabilities together, di ba, remember, 2 heads. So finding the probability of getting 2 heads, that is 1/2, tama? Or 50% chance. And then plus, getting 1 head, that's ano yun? 1/4 chance. Then adding of fractions. So this becomes 2/4 plus 1/4, which gives you 3/4, which converts to 75%. Tama? So therefore, that is your final answer. Next, letter C. Getting 3 heads when 4 coins are flipped individually. Ayan, when you flip 4 coins, diba remember kapag na-flip ka ng 4 coins, ilang possible outcomes can you get? Ayan, to do this, diba remember, just like what I told you in factorials, kung sa mo sa dependent variable, we use factorials, diba? Ngayon naman, since this is independent, because when you flip coins, they are independent. Since flipping coins is independent, you can still get the same head after your first head. Tama? Now, di ba remember, ganito kasi yun. Here's the technique on how you can list down all the possible outcomes when it comes to independent events. Remember exponents, right? Like for example, di ba remember when you toss 2 coins, you're supposed to get 4. Bakit ganito yun? Because of 2 squared. What does the 2 mean? Ang 2 dito ay represent yung dalawang outcomes. Di ba? Kung sa tingin mo sa factorials, when you choose 2 people, it's 2 times 1. Pero kapag independent, it's 2 times 2. Bakit ganito yun? Yung 2 dito nasa base, that is the total number of outcomes or ways. And then the exponent here talks about how many times or trials. Alright? So now let's go back to this example. So when you flip 3 heads, di ba remember when you get 3 heads, getting 3 heads when 4 coins are flipped individually. So, di ba remember, we're gonna multiply because this is n, di ba? And just like I told in factorials, we multiply because it's the end rule. Tama? So, ganito kasi yun. So, therefore, we do 3 heads. Di ba remember yung head namin ay 1 head. So, when you get 1 head, that's 1/2 of the outcomes. 1/2, di ba? And then you get, this is head again, times another 1/2. Then times another 1/2. And then getting a tail, that's 1/2. So therefore, that's all equivalent to 1 out of 16 possible outcomes. Okay? So that's the probability of getting 3 heads when 4 coins are flipped individually. Okay? So yan, looking at my solution sheet in Microsoft Excel, it goes like this, diba? So this is 3/4. Tama? Because diba remember that is getting 3 heads. Getting 1 head. This one, you're supposed to get 4 out of 16. Kasi nga ganito kasi yung solution sheet ko. Because diba remember, we flip 1 head, diba? And you can get 1 out of the 2 outcomes. Diba? Kasi nga diba remember, that's the one getting 3 heads when 4 coins are flipped individually. That one implies a binomial experiment, which I will show you later. Kasi nga remember, the formula goes like this. It says P raised to Q. Parang ganon. Basta I'll show you one time. I'll get back to this soon. Next, number 2. Rolling a die. Diba remember, this problem can also work when you roll a die. So let's say for example, kapag nang hinagis mo yung die. So this is where compound probability can also be used. Like letter 8 says getting a 5 or a 2. So kapag hinagis mo yung die, it's either you want whatever satisfies you. It's either you want to get the 5 as your number, or you get ano yun, or you get 2. Pero, it depends. And if you get 5 or 2, okay na yan. And there are 2 out of the 6 possible outcomes, which simplifies to 1/3 or 33.333%. Yan. Next, number 2. Getting an even number or a 6. Ayan. This one, if you want to use a formula, pwede pa rin. Pero, I'll teach you the formula sooner. For now, use your common sense. Diba, remember, this is your die, diba? Your fair die. Your fair die consists of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tama? What the probability of 1 is this? Probability of 1 is getting an even number. Even number. What are the even numbers here? Ito yun. 2, 4, and 6. So, 3 out of 6 outcomes. Tama? And then, the second probability is this. Getting a 6. Diba sabi dito, or a 6. Or, that means add. So, 6. 6, that is only 1 out of 6 outcomes, which is this one. Pero teka, look, if you look at this, if you roll a die, getting an even number or a 6, kasali na yung 6 sa even number. So therefore, we need to, we need to remove that 1, 6. Kasi nga, di ba remember, in general, we're supposed to get 3, 6 only. Kasi nga, the thing that satisfies us is even number. Pero kahit na you get 6, that 6 is also considered an even number. So we need to get rid of that probability, second probability. So how do we do that? Ganito kasi yun. I know there's a formula that I'm gonna teach you, pero I forgot the formula. So I'll teach you that real soon. Basta just keep in mind that you're supposed to get 3 out of 6 possible outcomes, or that simplifies to 50%. Tandaan mo yan, ha? Next, number 3. Getting a 1 and a red number. Ayan, may end. Ibig sabihin, multiplication rule. So di ba remember, a die is rolled twice. So your first roll, you want to get this. Your first roll, you want to get a 1. Di ba? 1. Tama? And then, the second one is to get a red number. Probability 2, red. In a die, di ba remember, there are 2 red numbers. 1 and 4. So therefore, that's 2 out of 6. And getting a 1 is 1 out of 6. Then because it's a multiplication rule, we multiply them together. And we should get 2 over 36, which simplifies to 1 over 18 as a fraction. Here's my solution sheet. So yan, ganito kasi yung nangyari. Diba? So that's letter A. Diba? 50% to. This one, we're supposed to get 2 out of 36, which simplifies to 1 over 18. To show you my solution sheet, ganito kasi yun. Diba? Remember, this is 1, 6, diba? And then 2, 6. Multiply them together, you should get this answer. And letter D, last but not least, letter D, getting the number of dots whose sum adds up to 9 when a pair of die is being rolled. Ayan! These are one of the most popular questions that they ask you in stats and probs. Like getting the number of dots when the sum adds up to 9. When a pair of die is being rolled. Diba remember, sometimes you roll a pair of die. That's 2 dice blocks, diba? And when you roll the dice block, let's say for example, you want to go and extend the number of steps, you can roll 2 dice block. Pero dito sa probability, it says here, getting a number of dots whose sum adds up to 9 when a pair of die is being rolled. So what are the outcomes that leads up to 9? Of course, first, we need to list down all the possible outcomes that we have when it comes to rolling a die. And we know there are 36. Bakit 36? Ganito kasi yun. Nala mo yung exponent law? How many outcomes are there when you roll a die? 6, di ba? Because there are 6 because there are 6 possible ways on rolling a die. Tama? Pero the exponent is 2. Bakit 2? Because you roll a pair of dice. Diba? Because 2 dice are being rolled at the same time. So when you roll 2 dice at the same time, therefore you're supposed to get 36 outcomes. So diba remember, we list down all the possible outcomes. We will get 2 1s, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6. To 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and 2 6. And so on. So therefore, we're supposed to get 36. I wish I could show you the possible ways, pero what you all this, never mind na if I can't do it. Or if I want to show you, pwede pa rin, para we can see which one adds up to 36. Okay. So here's the table of values for all the numbers. So I sum up everything up and we need to find the rolling of die. So remember, this is the row and this is the column. So this one we get 2 ones and we get 2. If we get 2 twos, we get 3. If we get 1 and 1, 2, 3. Diba? So that's the chart. So alin yung mga 9s dito? Eto na yan. 6 and 3, 5 and 4, 4 and 5, and 3 and 6. So 4 out of the 36 possible outcomes. So yan, that is the answer for getting the number of dots whose sum adds up to 9 when a paired die is being rolled. So out of the 36 outcomes, remember we listed all the possible outcomes and we know there are 36. Ito yung mga outcomes namin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kaya nga 6 squared. Kasi nga remember 6 because there are 6 possible outcomes. And another 6 because we're multiplying by 6 again because that's the number of items that we're going to use. And there are 2 dice blocks, so that's why it's 6 times 6. So tama. And these are the possible outcomes, the one that you see in the table that I had highlighted. So we count and then we do the count if formula. Diba remember na mo yung count if? So count if, then choose the range, like we want to get this entire table. Then the criteria is 9. Of course, there are 4. So 4 9s. So 4 out of the 36 possible outcomes. Kasi nga we need to count, kasi nga this one implies counting. So if I were to type count, there are 36. 36. So 4 out of 36. And when we divide those two numbers together, we should get 1/9. Going back to our solution sheet here, we're supposed to get this answer, okay? So yan, nasa na yan? Ayan, so tama. It's 4 out of 36. So that's the answer to your problem. Next, number 23. Get ready for the next problem. So the next problem that you see here, it says like this. Marble picking. Refer to the picture on the right. Ayan, di ba remember just like what we did last time when we were in item number 10? Di ba remember sa item number 10, we did, ano yun? Marble picking. And then, di ba remember there's a number inside the marble which represents the, ano yun? What is the quantity? Ilan yung mga colored marbles na nasa loob? Like there's a 5 on the red marble, so therefore there are 5 red marbles. There are 2 on the yellow, so therefore there are 2 yellow marbles. There's 2 on the green, so therefore may dalawang green marbles. At may isang violet. Now, here's the question. Letter A. Getting a red or violet marble. Of course, di ba remember, or, that means addition law. Tama? So, getting a red or a violet marble. So, for the red marble, there are 5 out of, ilan yung mga outcomes dito? There are 10, di ba? So, 5 out of 10 outcomes. So, if I were to write this here, this is the probability. So, P of 1, which is red. So, that's 5 out of 6. Now, P of 2, which is violet. Tama? And that's 1 out of 6. Then, we add this up all together. 5, 6 plus 1, 6 equals, 10 pala. Equals 60%. Tama? So, that is the probability of picking a marble. Red or a violet marble. Tama? Next, number B. Letter B. Getting 3 red marbles without replacement. Ayan. These are one of also the most popular examples that they will give you in stats and props. Like for example, getting the probability of getting 3 of those things with replacement or without replacement. It depends upon the situation for this particular concept. Pero this one, sabi dito, without replacement. Ibig sabihin, kung aling marble na pinili, dyan, hindi pwede mo ibabalik. Whatever marble has already been selected, yun na yun. Hindi pwede mo ibabalikan. So, ganito kasi yung formula. So, di ba remember, our goal is to get 3 red marbles. And getting 3 red marbles, that is multiplication law. Tama? So, when you get the first red marble, there are 5, di ba? 5 out of 10 marbles. So, therefore, we have 5 over 10. Tama? That is for the first marble. Ngayon, for the second, ilang marbles na meron namin? Dahil may ano yun? Dahil without replacement. It's 9 na lang. So, when we select 1 red marble, the 5 becomes 4. So, there are only 9 more marbles for you to choose from. Kaya nga, that's why nga, this also implies the application of factorials. Na alam mo talaga yung what you call this, yung factorials, we choose something, And then whatever has been chosen, we cannot repeat that anymore. Di ba, remember last time I asked you, in how many ways can this be done? So yan, that's when factorials are implied. Ngayon naman, we can also use factorials in compound probability. Like, di ba remember sinabi ko, in independent events, hindi pwede mo, you can replace that. Kaya naman, you have to, for the total number of outcomes, we use exponent. Pero, when it comes to dependent variables such that hindi pwede mo ibabalik, yun nga, you're gonna have to use factorials. So, therefore, ilang red marbles na lang meron sa ano yun? Sa bag. There, 4 na lang. So, 4 out of 9. 9 marbles. Next. And then, we have the third one. So, 3 out of 8. And so on. Then, you multiply all of this together. And when we do so, we're supposed to get this item. This answer. We multiply everything, whatever's there. So, like 9 and 3, this simplifies to 3. To 1, and then this simplifies to 3. This one, 2. So, 6. Tama? 5 and 10, that is 1 and 2. So, therefore, this is 1 out of 2 times 3 is 6, 12. So, 1 over 12. Going to Excel, ganito yung solution sheet ko. So, di ba remember sa letter A, it's 60%. Tama? Sa letter B, it's ano to? 8.333 naman siya 3%. Tama? Kasi nga ganito yun. Di ba remember this is how we did it, di ba? So, we list down all the probabilities together. And then yung solution namin sa letter B without replacement. So, therefore, this is how we're gonna do it. Di ba remember, this is the numerator. And then the one yung naka-red, that's your denominator. And then we divide so we can get the number of outcomes. So, tama. That's supposed to be the right answer. We divide the two outcomes together at yun na talaga yung sagot namin. Next, sa letter C. Kung sa letter C naman, this time naman, it says, getting a green and a red marble when replacement is allowed. Ayan. So this one naman, kung sa tingin mo sa previous concept, replacement, hindi pwede magawa yung replacement. Ngayon, we can now use replacement. There's a replacement being implied. In order for you to do this, di ba remember you get a green and a red marble. So, di ba remember ilan yung mga green marbles na meron tayo? Meron tayong 2 green marbles. 2 out of 10. Tama? Ilan yung mga red marbles na kita namin? There are 5. Di ba? Pero ang sabi dito, when replacement is allowed. So, when replacement is allowed, ibig sabihin, ang green marble ay pwede ibabalik. Tama? And then, instead of having 9 marbles left, when 1 green marble were already selected, ilan yung mga marbles bibiliin mo? 10, di ba? Kasi nagbabalik, di ba? So, di ba remember, it's like when you pick up something, like for example, look at your toys, di ba? How many toys are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kung pipiliin mo ito, you get Mario, there are only 8 left. Eh kaso binalik mo. Ano yung meron? 9 ulit. Tama? So, same pa rin in this example. You choose something out of random and tapos kapag binalik mo, ibig sabihin, it's still the same value in the denominator. The total number of outcomes is still the same. That's why nga, remember last time when we did number codes, if I were to say numbers can repeat. So, let's say for example, the numbers, it should be a 4-digit number, so you start at 9. And numbers can repeat, so times 10. Then times 10, di ba? But if numbers cannot repeat, it's 9 times 9 times 8, di ba? Then, we will use factorials kung di pwede mag-repeat. Kaya nga, in short, we use factorials whenever variables cannot repeat. We use exponents when outcomes can repeat. Yan. Since this repeated, di ba remember there are 2 out of 10 green marbles. Now, for the red marbles, that's probability of 2. Probability B. So, there's 5 out of 10. Multiplying that, we get 10 out of 100, which simplifies to 10%. That is the answer. Next, letter G. Getting each and every color without replacement when 4 marbles are selected. Ayan. This is the probability now. So when 4 marbles are being selected, you want to get each and every color. Ibig sabihin, lahat yung kulay na gusto mo. Red, yellow, green, at violet. So to do this, very easy lang yung formula. Let's start with the red. So the probability of getting red is 5 out of 10. Tama? Ngayon that we've already chosen red marble, now let's get the yellow. For yellow, ilan yung mga marbles na lang when 1 is already selected? At hindi pwede tayo ibabalik. 9 na lang yung meron. So therefore, ilan yung mga yellow marbles na meron? 2. So therefore, we have 2 out of 9 marbles na lang. 2 yellow marbles out of the 9 marbles remaining. Ngayon naman sa third marble, we want to get a color green. Green marble yung kukunin namin. So, 8 na lang yung meron. Because 2 marbles have already been selected. Ngayon, ilang mga green marbles na meron sa bag? 8, di ba? Pero, yung mga green naman, which is the condition, 2. So, 2 green marble. At last but not least, isa na lang, which is violet. So, 1 out of 7. At yung kailangan mo gagawin, i-multiply lahat yung mga numero. Tama? To see my solution sheet in Microsoft Excel, ganito kasi yun. So, ito yung solution sheet na ginawa ko. Tama? So, ang ginawa ko dito, it's a product of this guy and this guy. So, yan, di ba? Yan, di ba? Remember, that is my, ano yun? That is my, ano yun? My numerator. And then, the denominator is 10 permute 4. That is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7. Di ba? And when we divide that, you're supposed to get, what's the answer? 0.39. Wow. 0.39%, which is a less probability chance of getting all the colors all together. Yan.